yesterday I put up a post with pictures of Kevin Samuels, Myron Gaines, and Pearl. We did, I used all the same pictures, 3 pictures for each person. Matter of fact, you know what? Let's do this. Let's just go ahead and show you what it was. And the reason I did this was just to kind of highlight the mark that I've had on the Manosphere. Just to highlight, you know, my contribution. I said, I'm extremely proud to have had a small part of the success of Kevin Samuels, Fresh and Fit, and Pearl. I take tremendous pride in helping my friends attain this level of achievement. Now, if I could figure out how to be just as good as they are at content, I'd be good to go. So these are pictures, of course, and this is just to show. And this isn't a flex, right? A lot of people say, well, this is a flex. Listen, say what you want. It is what it is. But I think it's pretty clear that there are a lot of people that have no idea that before Kevin died, I've been tight with Kevin Samuels, or I had been tight with Kevin Samuels for almost 6 years. Almost 6 years. I had him on for the very first time back in 2018. You guys can see, there he is as a panelist on the 6 legendary panel. I had him in studio for a one-on-one with Donovan Sharp, and here is me and him talking about the aftermath of Average at Best. The next pictures I put up were with Myron Gaines. A lot of people don't realize that you know, I had Myron on my platform before they started the whole Fresh and Fit thing, right? And again, I'm not taking credit for their success. I tell this to Myron all the time when I'm at the studio. He always thanks me. Thank you, Donovan. Without you, I wouldn't be here. And I tell him, Myron, look, I appreciate it, but you guys are at 1 million. You guys are now at 1.1 million subscribers. Right? It's obvious that neither Kevin, Myron, nor Pearl needed me.
So I know some guys are probably wondering, Donovan, or actually not Donovan, Myron, how did you meet Donovan Sharp? How did you make this happen? Because a lot of people have asked, like, hey man, how did you guys become friends and everything like that? Because obviously we do our show Weights and Dates on Sundays now. Sundays right before Sundays the 7th. Yes. Sundays at 6 right before the 7th. And so it started, man. I actually got a consultation with Donovan. And we're talking about, you know, shooting stuff about fitness, game, everything like that. I was like, hey, man, you're a pretty knowledgeable guy. Would you like to come on the show? And I was like, dude, it'd be an honor. And I'll never forget, Donovan was like, hey, man, you need to make a YouTube channel. You need to do this. You can definitely make a pretty good living for yourself doing this stuff. And you know, fast forward about a year later, man, it's an honor. And I just want to say on air, thank you, Donovan, because you're a big inspiration for why we have the studio right now, why we've went so hard with the quality. And yeah, man, thank you so much.
Well, hey, congratulations to you guys. Listen, holy shit, man. Like you guys are at over 500,000 subscribers. To me, that is, because I remember when I was here, you guys had 20,000 subscribers. So I was like, you guys are going to pass me this summer. You guys passed me the next month, and you guys have been on a rocket ship ever since then. So I'm proud of you guys, man.
You guys put me on your podcast back when I was a fucking nobody, man. When no one knew me, I was just some dude making fitness videos that enjoyed your guys' content. I was a supporter first, and you guys took a chance and let me come on your platforms. And for that, I am forever fucking grateful.
Yeah, of course.
And I just want to really tell you guys to your faces, thank you so much. We wouldn't be here without you guys. And it's a pleasure and an honor to have you guys here for us to pay it back forward to you guys. Yeah. So subscribe to both these guys' channels, because without them, we wouldn't be where we're at right now.
100%. I wouldn't go that far.
Yes, that's the truth. We would not be here without you guys.
The thing is this, man.
Take a compliment, damn it. Donovan, take it. Take it.
Donovan.
Like, no. Okay.
I found Myron through your channel. So shout out to that. Because when he had 17 subs, I'm like, who's this guy in Brickell? And I hit up Myron, and because of you, me and Myron met up.
They didn't need me to get big. They took what little they took what little influence I had, exposed them to a broader audience, and they ran with the ball. They ran with the ball. They did all the work. All I did was give them an opportunity. And it was not, dude, it's no skin off my back. It's no skin off my back to give somebody an opportunity. It really isn't. I don't want anything. Nobody owes me anything. I'm just happy to help. Listen, life has been good to me. I've made a lot of mistakes, but life has been very, very good to me. And the Red Pill community, the Manosphere, has changed my life. And the way I sort of pay it forward is I help people who I think have talent. Kevin clearly had talent. Albeit a late bloomer, I recognized very early that Myron was a big-time talent. those of you guys who have followed me for a while, you guys remember when I told you on Sharp Stream that I'm going to hitch my wagon to someone who's new in the community. And I told you, I said, Myron Gaines is the next superstar. And he was. And he was. So there's Myron. He was my very first guest in studio, in Studio B for One-on-One with Donovan Sharp. Here he is on a panel of the 6 early on. This is before he moved, actually. This is before he moved to the Panorama Tower. And this, of course, is the Weights and Dates podcast that we had. This was when Myron had first built the Fresh and Fit studio. Then I put up pictures of me and Pearl. This, of course, is when Pearl came, she came out here to Jersey, had her on for that. Then, of course, there she is in the bottom right-hand corner. This is the Not All Women podcast starring your boy, Devin, Tallulah, Janelle, Allie, and Pearl, all of which, except with the exception of Tallulah, all of which were at the CME. And this is me and Pearl doing a one-on-one, podcast interview, just how she got started, how she's going, and how she's doing, right? I just did this to show people, hey, you know what? I'm not just a nobody, right? Like, I think I'm pretty good at spotting talent. I think I'm pretty good at spotting gems before they shine. That doesn't make me special, doesn't make me unique. I'm just happy. I'm just happy to have had, a small part of, have to do with a small part of their success. They certainly didn't need me. Like I said, they would have done this with or without me, but I'm glad to have been lucky enough to be a part of their beginnings. So the comment was made by Crisp. The comment was made by a dude whose screen name is Crisp. And so in response to this, he says, it doesn't take much effort. Pearl is successful because she is a woman, which is rare in the red pill community. Myron is successful because he is loud and blunt, to which women is also rare in general. And at least Kevin put in effort and was actually not only entertaining, but also very smart and gave us a lot of game, which people like Myron and Pearl just repeat. So the first comment was by a Dare or a Dare Powell. I'll call him Mr. Powell. He says, quote, I was with you on the Pearl part, but Myron is definitely better than Kevin in most ways. Look, that's his opinion. He's entitled to it. If he thinks Myron is better than Kevin, fine. Some people think Kevin's better. Depends on who you ask. He continues. He says, Myron is more intelligent as he is a Fed. No surprise there. The Fresh and Fit channel also teaches you money on Mondays, money on Money Mondays, where they bring on guests, billionaires, multimillionaires, etc. Ain't no way Kevin Samuels add as much value as Myron. No way. I respectfully disagree with Mr. Powell, but it is what it is. Pearly Things, however, copied both men. She acts like Kevin and stole the Fresh and Fit style. That's a fact. The men in the red pill are sellouts. For so long, they've been saying they need their own thing. How women have all the shows, etc., and we don't have nothing. But now here we are doing our own, but they let a woman lead the manosphere. Shake my head. Shameful. I responded. I said if it were that easy, then everyone would do it. What they did, Kevin Samuels, took Kevin, quite a bit of effort. They made it look easy, which is why you think it doesn't take much effort. Dare Powell, Mr. Powell, says, Donovan Sharp, fair points. But but my opinion, and he says, but it's my opinion, and it's still shameful to see a female-led red pill podcast that stole Fresh and Fit whole style catch up and will most likely surpass them in subs. Nobody owns a style. Don't mean she didn't steal Fresh and Fit whole setup. Call Myron and ask him if he don't think she stole their style. I bet he say yes. Well, Mr. Powell, first of all, we need to learn to speak proper English. That's the first thing. That's the first thing I would say. So this is my final response to him. I said, stealing is a crime and is illegal. Did people accuse Oprah Winfrey of stealing the styles of Sally Jesse Raphael or the Geraldo Rivera talk shows? Does anybody accuse Gordon Ramsay of stealing the setup of a slew of other cooking shows before he came to America? Of course not. Pearl saw what worked and replicated the process, which, by the way, was not easy to do. You can dislike the fact that a female content creator is surpassing everyone in the red pill sphere, but the fact of the matter is that people watch her channel because it's entertaining and educational. She didn't steal anything from anybody because Fresh and Fit don't own the style. There are plenty of fresh and fit copycats out there, but she's the only one who's been successful at it, and that's why she's getting so much hate, which comes with the territory anyway. So you can think it's shameful if you want to. That's your opinion, and you're entitled to it. But you don't have to watch. And trust me, she does not need your viewership or approval because over 1 million people have already done it. P.S. And if I were to call Myron and ask him if he thinks Pearl stole her style, he would say no. Why? Because he knows he doesn't own the format, and he also knows that stealing is a crime. And that brings us back around to the criticism. The general consensus around the people that don't really endorse her. And that is that Pearl has stolen the Fresh and Fit model. She parrots talking points. She regurgitates things she's heard from Myron, Rollo, and so forth. Obviously, there was the comment. I got news for you. When we first enter in this community, everybody parrots everybody. Yes, we add a few of our own personal anecdotes. Maybe some of us have our own personal style. But for the most part, we all parrot off of each other. We all use each other's talking points all the time. So now all of a sudden that Pearl is doing it, that's a problem? Here's another thing. I got news for you. Nobody owns a style, guys. Fresh and Fit didn't copyright the format. They weren't the first podcast to ever bring modern women from the outside to discuss dating and relationships with them. There were plenty who were already doing that. But the reason they were, or the reason they are where they are, is because they're the best at it. How do we know? Well, look at their subscribers. Over 1 million. The market has spoken, and it's telling us that Fresh and Fit provide value. Well, Pearl has replicated this formula. She saw that the formula works, she replicated it, and is enjoying similar success. She didn't steal a formula. She simply duplicated it. Again, stealing is a crime. What Pearl has done is not a crime. But guys are steady bitching and moaning about Pearl stole Fresh and Fit's model. Let me ask you guys something. Does anyone accuse Bobby Flay of stealing Emerald Lagazi's cooking competition format? No, they don't. Yes, Emerald was the first to do it, but that doesn't mean that other shows are not allowed to copy the format. Emerald showed that brand of cooking competition gets ratings. The Iron Chef copied that format, in essence, and now we have more cooking shows than we can watch. Gordon Ramsay, Wolfgang Puck, Rachel Ray, the late Anthony Bourdain, Guy Fieri, Lorena Garcia, and on and on and on. Nobody ever accuses these people of stealing a format. People watch because it's compelling content that educates people on the many dimensions of the culinary world. Here's another question. Did anyone accuse Ricky Lake of stealing the format from Oprah Winfrey? Did anyone accuse Jenny Jones of stealing the format from Phil Donahue? Did anyone accuse Steve Wilkos for stealing Jerry Springer's formula? No. Television companies saw a formula that worked and they replicated it. Guys, this applies to everything. Everything. Does anyone accuse Victoria Stilwell for stealing Cesar Millan's formula? Does anyone accuse NBC for stealing the cop show formula made popular by CBS? How many cop shows do we have now that are similar? How many lawyer shows are similar? How many medical shows are similar? Did anyone accuse Fox for stealing the concept of a medical show, ER, when they rolled out Dr. House? Does anybody accuse Chevy of stealing the formula for combustible engines from Ford? The point is that if people want to be successful, they look at what successful people are doing, and then they do it. Just because you did it first doesn't mean that someone else isn't allowed to copy the formula. Here's another thing. It is not easy to copy the Fresh and Fit formula. Getting women to show up in one place 3 to 4 times a week is hard. People act like you could just decide to be the next Fresh and Fit and voila, 1 million subs. No. You got to have a staff. You got to have a producer. You've got to have a sound engineer, a camera guy, and most importantly, recruiters. I can guarantee you that both Myron and Pearl could talk forever at length about the frustrations that come with recruiting. Getting guests to come on. Shit's not easy. And like I said, Mr. Powell, if it was that easy, then everyone would do it. But it's not, and that's why they don't. A while back, I hosted a panel called The 7. Started out as The 6, and eventually became the 7. The panel, of course, as you guys remember, was myself, Kevin Samuels, Myron Gaines, Mr. Lucario, Solo TV 84, Minister Jap, and Steve the Dean Williams. There was one episode we did entitled How to Become a High Value Man, and during that episode, Lucario and Steve indirectly accused Alpha Male Strategies for stealing their talking points. Their argument was, we did it first, so we should get the credit. And when Kevin told them, just because you're first doesn't entitle you to anything. He also said that just because you have better content doesn't mean you'll have more subscribers. He told them straight up, he said, okay, so you said X, Y, and Z first, but then someone comes along and does what you do better than you can't complain. He said the market decides what is valuable and what's not the individual. Pearl's detractors are well within their right to criticize and scrutinize. That's actually a good thing. I think criticism and scrutiny, I think it helps to keep content creators accountable and helps them to improve the quality of their content. But to use the she copied Fresh and Fit argument as a reason to dislike her, it's unnecessary. If you don't like Pearl because you don't think it's fair that she's shot past just about everyone seemingly overnight, then just say that. And if we're being honest, that's really what this is about. This goes back to professional jealousy. Everyone's using all of these reasons as a way to cloak their envy of her. Again, Pearl hasn't stolen anything. Bringing on modern women and watching them make fools of themselves doesn't belong to anyone. As I stated before, stealing is a crime, but it's time to call a spade here. Anyone who bags on Pearl for copying the Fresh and Fit model simply doesn't like her because she's a girl, and that's okay. If you don't like what Pearl's doing because she is a woman in a predominantly male space, that's fine. Me personally, I don't like it when females give their opinions on the performance of male athletes. But do I watch it day after day and complain about it? No, I just don't watch. If you don't like what Pearl's doing, then don't watch. But all the lame excuses you idiots spend more time than you should writing these essays about why you think she's doing somehow doing something wrong is nothing more than an inefficient way of saying I don't like her. Look at this. Look at this, dude. Look at this. Look at this wall of text. All you have to do is say I don't like her. That's all you got to do. If you don't like her, then just say so. You don't have to explain yourself. You can dislike someone for no good reason. That doesn't make you bad. It doesn't make you weak. But pretending you have a problem with something she's doing that's also been done by countless creators, countless television networks, countless television shows, and countless products is fucking lame. Just say, I don't like the bitch, and leave it at that. But the reason you feel the need to explain yourself is because you know that your inherent disdain for her and other females in the space is probably unfounded. And guess what? That's okay too. It's okay to like women for no good reason. It's okay to not like women in the space for no good reason. But stop lying about pretending to care about the integrity of the intellectual property rights of intangible things that simply cannot be owned. Pearl is a far better content creator than most of us. That's the bottom line. The numbers clearly bear that out. You can pretend that she's terrible at what she does, but over 1 million people vehemently disagree with you. And that is more than enough as far as most fair-minded people are concerned. And that is the memo.